Welcome to the strange and disturbing world of terror at Collinwood. This episode is especially disturbing because my very special guest is none other than Count Andreas Petofi. But before we get to the show, I have some news bites for you. First, I want to thank the Collins cousins who contributed via the Terror at Collinwood Buy Me a Coffee page recently. Big shout outs to Louise, Paige, Nina, Ted M, someone, Dave, another someone, Jim, and Paul. Thank you very much, and it is sincerely appreciated. Now, if you'd like to donate, the link, as always, is in the show notes. You may have seen the spooky and gorgeous Terror at Collinwood advert designed by monster artist Paul Garner last year. Well, Paul has graciously allowed me to turn the designs from that poster into new t-shirts. There's a Penny Dreadful one for the dreary ones, and then we have a few different shirt options featuring the big three for all the spooky denizens of Collinsport out there. For the Terror at Collinwood shirts, you can get these with the logo on the front, or as a two-sided shirt with the character on the front and the logo on the back. The link to the Terror at Collinwood TeePublic shop is, as always, in the show notes. Now, I only get a very small percentage from TeePublic, so I am not making any money on these. All profits go right back into the podcast, and wearing the t-shirts helps to show your support for the show, which I appreciate. In fact, I received some pictures from a few listeners recently, and if you send photos of yourself wearing your shirts to terroratcollinwood@gmail.com, I'll show them off in a future episode. Just jump on over to the YouTube version of the podcast if you'd like to see these groovy snaps. First up, it's George Calogritis, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, George, who wore his Terror at Collinwood shirts at the Lyndhurst Dark Shadows weekend this past July. Here he is at the House of Dark Shadows movie screening wearing a shirt featuring the Terrible Trio in cartoon form. Next, I want to thank Patrick Sanders for ordering several t-shirts from the shop. Here's a shot of them all laid out in a row. Thank you, Patrick. And finally, here's my friend and illustrious illustrator, Eric Marshall, who brilliantly designed the Terror at Collinwood logos and the cartoon versions of the characters. He's stylishly sporting the By the Power of Collinwood shirt in this photo. Thank you so much for sending this great picture, Eric. And by the way, Eric has been hard at work on more 1970s Dark Shadows cartoon model sheet artwork. I'll be posting a season 2 piece at the Terror at Collinwood blog on Halloween and sharing that post out to social media, so you will most definitely want to check those out because they are incredible, absolutely fantastic. And given my guest in this episode, here's a quick special peek at one model sheet illustration, which you can scope out in the video version of the podcast. Of course, Halloween is coming, and that reminds me of some excellent Halloween events coming up. If you're in the New Bedford, Massachusetts area on Friday, October 17th, or even if you're not in the area, hop on your broomstick and get thee over to Kojo's Toy World on 104 William Street at 7 p.m. Wacky, weird, and wonderful pro wrestler Danhausen will be appearing unalive and in person, and I'll be outside the store with Kojo greeting unwary visitors at the door and handing out all manner of ghoulish goodies. Now check out this promo, courtesy of Kojo's Toy World, for more eerie info.
Poor Hannah the vampire, burnt to a crisp and staked through the heart. I'm having a difficult time getting the vampire's blood for my elixir. It seems we've hit a snag.
Oh, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Instead of bringing back the animal, you resuscitated.
Yes, it is I, Danhausen, here back at Kojo's.
October 17th is a Friday.
Dare you behold the unmitigated terror that awaits you this Friday.
Chilling shockers. Kojo's is a excellent toy store with lots of vintage collectibles, including the occasional Dark Shadows item. Thank you for that puzzle, Kojo. I must tell you, the Addams Family musical opens on Halloween night at the Falmouth Theatre Guild out in Cape Cod in Falmouth, Massachusetts. It runs Fridays through Sundays until November 16th, and I'm playing Grandmama Adams in it. It's a creepy, kooky, mysterious, and spooky show, so if you're in the area and able to make it out to one of the performances, or more than one, please come say hi if you see me hobbling about in the courtyard after the show. The link to the FTG website where you can snag tickets is in the show notes. It's going to be a great time, so come on down. Now, as Penny Dreadful, I'll be making a short appearance on the Shudder horror streaming channel for the 2025 Fangoria Chainsaw Awards, which will air on Sunday, October 19th at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'll be a presenter as part of a horror host segment along with my fellow horror movie hosts, Count Gordeval, Dr. Sarcophagi, Mr. Lobo, and Joe Bob Briggs. Peaches Christ will also appear in a segment. So if you miss it, I believe the show will be available on demand on Shudder starting on the following weekend. And I'll have a little more information about a really cool thing on Shudder in just a sec. Now you can also catch Penny Dreadful in a live virtual Q&A stream as part of the Transponder Out in October event on October 25th in Eugene, Oregon. The event is free with RSVP requested and is taking place from 12 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. Penny will be part of the festivities starting at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. And big shout out to super dreary one Bailey for hosting Shilling Sharkers movie nights all through October at Transponder and for inviting me to participate in this event. I look forward to it. In other news, Raoul Madblood and Johnny D have launched a new series on the Retro Prism YouTube channel. It's called Echoes from Collinwood. Together, Raoul and Johnny will be discussing every Dark Shadows episode in order, starting from show number 1. Check out the link in the show notes. And by the way, yes, that is the very same Johnny D of Johnny D and the Moonlighters who performed the surf rock version of the Dark Shadows theme that you hear at the top of every Terror at Collinwood episode. In past Terror at Collinwood guest news, if you haven't done so already, don't forget to check out Screening After Midnight, Ansel Farage's great new short film, perfect for the Halloween season or anytime. You can watch it free on YouTube. It stars David Selby, Elise Ashton, and Doug Eames. It is fantastic. Raymond Castile, host of Raymond Castile's Basement of Horror, was in a recent episode of the Joe Bob Briggs Last Drive-In show on Shudder to talk about Coffin Joe, and he even made an appearance in it as Coffin Joe. It's a great episode, and it's available right now on the Shudder streaming channel. Joe Bob hosts This Night I Will Possess Your Corpse. You do not want to miss that one. It was a great episode. Catherine Crestman emailed me to say she's doing her part to keep Dark Shadows alive and undead. She has written a plethora of DS-themed articles recently for a variety of publications. Catherine writes, I published an article featuring DS in Seaview Terrace in Mensa Bulletin last year. I wrote a fan fiction piece on Quentin and Angelique for Retrofan. Monster Pablum, which will be printed in the third Seaview book, was also published in the Centipede Press newsletter and my own quarterly magazine in the Esoteric Order of Dagon. Weird Fiction Review, Fall 2026 will have my Marilyn Ross DS paperbacks article. My travel book and the forthcoming second travel book have multiple DS chapters, and she's done several other things to help promote Dark Shadows, so good job, Catherine. Creep up the good work. In addition, Catherine Gonzalez has unleashed another album on her Discount Artificial Sweetener YouTube channel. It's really fun. This one is focused on Victoria Winters, and with all that said, let's get to the show with Count Andreas Petofi. Petofi? Let's get to the show. There's nowhere to run, there's no place to hide. This podcast is fun, but there are spoilers inside. Welcome to Terror at Collinwood. 'Tis I, Penny Dreadful, and I am thrilled. I am ecstatic and deeply honored to have an actual character from Dark Shadows here. He is the evil mage who's all the rage. Let's have a big hand for Count Petofi. Oh my God, I can't believe this. Oh my goodness.
Penny!
Oh,
Penny!
your video's off, Count Petofi.
How in the blue blazes do you turn this on? I don't know. This is all too new.
Oh, there you are. There you are, Count.
Even more terrifying in real life.
Count Petofi. Wow. Well, first of all, I'm so glad you survived 1897, as we all knew you did, because your glasses were found outside of Charles Delaware Tate's studio. And you've made it finally to the future, even further into the future than you intended. So what have you been up to, Count Petofi?
Well, first, let me tell you, the terrors of the future are more than I could have ever dreamed. Why, endless addiction to these little screens that people watch. It is almost diabolical. I love it here. And I can also get decent takeout Chinese.
Wow. Clearly, Count Petofi is loving the future. More evil than ever.
It's like a dream to me. I listen every night to the Beach Boys and think, ooh, what was I missing? Why did I want to hang around in feudal times? Like, say, the ages long before, when I had my manor house and my private army of
Yes, well, yes, we don't really use that word anymore.
Yes. The Roma people are filled with glee.
Count Petofi,
are
the gypsies, the Roma people still after you in the present day? Is there a descendant of King Johnny Romano who's still chasing you down with a golden scimitar? Or
Johnny Romano, King Johnny Romano. What's he king of? Do you know what he's king of now? He exists. Yes, he exists. He's king of a chain of pizza parlors in New Jersey. King Johnny Romano's Hot Pies.
So,
but his people,
I assume you kind of avoid that place, though.
Like the plague. The plague, I prefer a good Pop-Tart.
Speaking of plagues, you've unleashed many a plague in your time. And I'm curious, it was really, the power of the hand that helped you do that. Did you ever manage to reacquire the hand?
No, sadly. The hand is lost yet again. I know not where it is. As I said, hand is missing. Still, its powers yet to be chained to me.
We are experiencing operating difficulties. Please stand by.
Again.
Well.
Back to your box.
This is the problem with the drawback of modern times, Count Petofi, is that all of this is being recorded.
Yes, yes, but you still have to find me, though. That's the thing. No one knows why.
I was able to find you because I wrote to you because all horror hosts know how to get in touch with certain notable people, and you wrote back to me with this great picture that you were so kindly signed for me. It says, would you read? What does it say there?
It says, "Dear Penny, you are a real witch."
Wow.
Yes.
And you even signed it. That is
Signed.
great, Count.
Love
That's
always.
great.
Love
I'm glad you
always.
spelled witch correctly. Unlike Aristede, when I wrote to him, he spelled it with a different letter to start.
Well, that's because Aristede is a pompadour boob.
How is Aristede these days?
I see him from time to time. He shows up. He lives I believe he lives in Miami Beach now. Suns himself frequently. Hangs out, does weights.
Does he still work for you now and again, or?
The occasional piecemeal work, you know. Sometimes I hire him as an Uber driver, takes me around here now and again when I need to go to, Papa John's or something.
Do you have to use Garth Blackwood as a threat, or does he do it voluntarily?
Well, the terror exists deep within him. All I have to do is mention the G word, and suddenly he snaps to like an obedient servant.
Ah, Count Petofi. I. Well, is everything okay, Count Petofi?
It's sometimes you swallow your hair when it begins to get age
Yes,
a certain
yes.
way, begins to
I
kind of
think
peel
Quentin
off.
has that problem with his sideburns as well, as I recall.
Yes, yes. I recall when I was in his body, I had precisely those problems.
What were
But
some of
then,
the things you
you could
did in his
cruise
body? I mean,
around.
we saw
And
some of the things you did, like dancing with Pansy Faye and
ah,
some of that other stuff you did. Were there things that we never got to see that you did in Quentin's body?
well, that would be a secret, wouldn't it?
Okay. So that's going to be for the after hours version of the podcast.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yes. We won't tell too many of those stories.
Depends how many more sips from that glass you have
I'm
now.
getting closer every time,
Now,
closer every time.
Count Petofi, I hate to bring this up, but
Does it
I
have to do
think I
with
have.
Charles Delaware Tate?
What's that?
Does it have to do with Charles Delaware Tate?
Well, no, but let's talk about Charles Delaware Tate. You know, you gave him his powers. He made a Faustian bargain with you, and he was able to bring things to life with his paintings and create things with his. That's a rather godlike power. I mean, what were you thinking giving that power to Charles Delaware Tate?
I was thinking that perhaps he could draw me a few showgirls, or maybe even a strange creature, lost creature.
Well, that's where I was going with this. You
I
know,
had a feeling it always goes there.
well, you have to admit, it isn't often that you hear from someone who is the last known.
The last known man to possess a unicorn. Hard to believe, isn't it, that a man could possess a unicorn, but I did. His name was Conrad.
Conrad. See, that's new information.
Yes,
We did
yes,
not know.
all your followers are going to be titillated by knowing that Conrad the unicorn,
You heard it here
my
first, folks.
boon companion, until I had to violently kill him because of those infernal
Yes, you did. You were cursed with lycanthropy, and
Yes.
you turned into the wolf that walks like a man, and you slaughtered your deer.
Have you ever seen a wolf that walks like a man? It's like a little dog when they get on those two legs in the back. They
I have
wander
seen that.
about.
My
Is it
dog.
really that terrifying? I ask you. I
It
ask
was to the unicorn. To Conrad was probably terrified, Count Petofi. And
that name.
I know you're still dealing with a lot of trauma from that.
It's been a very long time since I saw the last unicorn, and when I did, I lost it. I was in the theater and I cried my eyes out. Could you imagine?
I'm sure you
And
did.
then when I would go home and on Saturday morning I'd get up and have a little bit of cereal to sate my belly, and who would be on TV but Uni going,
Oh, yeah.
shattered my heart for poor Conrad.
Here and
Just
just
have to pull
do the
myself
end.
together.
When the
Pull myself
last
together.
moon, it even references the moon. You know, Count Petofi. I wonder if this film was based on your experience with Conrad, because it even
Quite certain it
references the
was.
last moon cast over the last star. My goodness, I know
He
Christopher Lee.
dabbled in
Christopher
witchcraft.
Lee was in it.
Christopher Lee was in it?
Yes, yes.
Well,
He was
that's a familiar name.
he was the
I remember
voice.
when he was just a boy. I was the ice cream man in his neighborhood.
You
I
were what were
scared-
you? Pray tell, were you doing being an ice cream man?
I was searching for the hand, of course.
Ah,
How
I
else
suspected as
is
much.
one going to tool around in an English neighborhood searching for a hand unless they're in an ice cream van? And poor little Christopher Lee came up to the van and said, "May I have a treat?" And I looked at him and I said, "Someday you are going to be something, child. Something evil." And then he cried and ran away.
Wow.
It's wonderful.
Count Petofi, have you possessed anyone lately or switched bodies with anyone lately?
Yes, Suzanne Summers.
Susan, really?
Yes, it was
Wow.
really, really a shocking turn, a shocking turn for her when she woke up one morning and discovered the beautiful, sexy visage of Count Petofi. I, on the other hand, went shopping. It was fun.
With Joyce DeWitt?
Now, Joyce DeWitt is actually, does anybody realize that Joyce DeWitt is a founding member of the Church of Satan? No, she's not. I'm
What?
just lying.
Who knew? Who knew, ladies and gentlemen? You can never,
This is a
you
show
can
full
never
of firsts.
tell.
You
Count
see, this
Petofi is very deceptive. We never know if he's telling the truth or not.
Am I?
Well, well, Count. Now
Yeah.
listen, there's talk of a new Dark Shadows, potentially one day. I'm sure someone's going to do it. If there is a new Dark Shadows, would you return?
It's an excellent question. I've had my fill of the Collins family. However, maybe, it depends. I might. It depends on what the residuals are and who the extra stars are. I'd like to work with Scarlett Johansson.
Oh,
I'd like to work with, oh, I don't know, Will Ferrell, but I wouldn't want him to be in a Dark Shadows movie.
Will Ferrell and Count Petofi together?
Together again.
Wow,
We have our
again.
own stage show.
Didn't he talk to Lauren Michaels about trying to get you on a SNL for a guest host spot, and Lauren Michaels turned
Oh,
it down?
yeah.
Is that true?
Oh, yes, of course. Yes. And I lost out again to Steve Martin. And you know what? I don't want to cast aspersions on Steve Martin or anything like that. But he is a real, and you can feel free to beep this if you need to. He's a real. It's true.
Wow.
I hate it.
I
But,
thought
that's
he was a
okay.
nice guy. But, yeah.
So, yeah, nice guy. You know who's a nice guy?
Who's that?
Eric Idle. He's
Eric-
a nice guy in Count Petofi terms.
I hear you have beef with Mr. French from Family Affair. You want to talk about that?
I'll tell you. Family affair. Now, first of all, this is turning into hanging with Dr. Z, basically. I'm just basically, we're just riffing on years in 70s Hollywood. But fine. No offense, I like hanging with Dr. Z. It's a good show. But
It is. His friend, Dana Gould, has been on this podcast.
well, that's refreshing. That's fine thing to know. Although I don't know. I think my talents are a little bit better than his, but that's another story. I won't get into that. No, that's not
Count
true.
Petofi said that, Dana Gould, not me.
Yes, Count Petofi said that. Dana Gould.
So, Count, tell me about Mr. French from Family Affair.
So there's this story that I tried to possess. The little doll, Mrs. Beasley.
Wait, you
I
wanted to possess her as in putting your soul into her or taking
Yes,
her?
precisely.
Oh,
Precisely. Because then, who knows where that doll has gone? What mischief could I create? I could have set those children off on a fine career of evil. Could you imagine the ghostly eyes of Mrs.
Yes.
Beasley staring into you, telling you, go forth and do diabolical things. Don't you want to live deliciously? That might be copyrighted.
I think
don't
that was
know.
Black Phillip. Couldn't you just have Charles Delaware paint another Mrs. Beasley that would come into existence, and then you could have that Mrs. Beasley? Or does it have to be Mr. French's?
Yes, but could I also have Charles Delaware Tate draw a giant Mr. French trap that would cut his head off?
Ooh, oh.
I could have done that, but I didn't do it. I didn't do it because I respect art. And double-sided tape, which is failing me right now. That's okay.
Well, Count Petofi, I think we should wrap things up here because I know you're very, very busy with the Halloween season coming up.
This
and
is my time.
In your search for the hand, which you do not have. And you
I
never...
have no idea where that hand is.
Yeah.
That hand has escaped me for years and years and years and years.
Oh, it isn't attached. Oh, my goodness.
No!
Oh, no. Here's that Count Petofi has lost control of the hand. That isn't his hand, but very much resembles the hand. Count Petofi, do you have any closing thoughts for Halloween for all of the listeners out there, all of your fans, your many fans? out there. Any closing thoughts before we wrap things up here?
Yes, yes. In the darkness of the night, when you feel yourself affright, look deep within and you will see the eyes of Count Petofi. Which is to say, Happy Halloween.
And for as long as they lived, the dark shadows never truly vanished, for there will always be terror at Collinwood. Terror at Collinwood is a Penny Dreadful production.
Now I'm starting to sound a little bit like Trask. I don't know why. Perhaps I've had a little too much to drink.
Maybe we'll have Trask on next time. Actually, I've had Trask on the podcast.
What?
Yes.
Well. Oh, yeah, so now you're being good. Oh, fine. All right. We'll